Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Politics is on the scorecard today, and let's look at a scorecard, so to say, for the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike, and other matters as they might arise. So all observers of the polity, probably have their own impressions, thanks to news coverage. Well, Barrister Nyesom Wike, he's one person that is not out of the news for very long. So to that extent, people have been able, either for reasons that he may prefer or for those that he doesn't prefer. He is in the media, either for the work that he is doing or for his political leanings, or indeed, he's a fun-loving person. Sometimes, from time to time, very rarely, you do get a humorous side to him. Everything is linked back to one, politics, and then his job. He's the former governor of River State and is the current minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Well, the guest to help us look at this, Honorable Ogene Emma Ego. He's a member of the House of Representatives, 8th and 9th Assembly, as well as being a former member of the ECOWAS Parliament. So a fine morning to you, Honorable Ogene Emma Ego.
Thank you, Folari. I'm honored to be with you once more. Thank you.
Indeed, it is our pleasure. Okay, then. Well, as I was saying, a man that is widely known up and down the length and breadth of this country. And so maybe you'd like to sort of give an overview, first of all, as to your impressions of Honorable Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, in terms of his scorecard of his performance in the job that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appointed him to, even though he is not from the ruling APC party.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Folari. Wike is somebody that a lot of people love and a lot of people hate, because he's a man you can place at all times. He doesn't hide his opinion. What he wants, what he is, he says it out. He's not a man who pretends. He's not interested in public relations. And when he ruled River State, the project he did there was so enormous that all Nigerians were surprised. Even his opponent, the former vice president, Professor Osinbajo, when he went there to inspect projects, he could not help but name him Mr. Project. And even the Buhari administration gave him an award for project and infrastructure. It has never happened before when the opponents, a government that you don't belong to, will be honoring one person like that without honoring their own. So if Wike's honor was just coming from PDP members, then we say, oh, there's exaggeration. But this time, it came from everywhere. Now, Wike did so well in Rivers, I was opportune to follow Dagora to go and visit him to declare a project open. Dagora was the Speaker of the House of Rep. That was in the 8th Assembly. And I can tell you for free, Larry, that project opening took the whole day. The final project we opened was a bridge of over a kilometer long, stretched inside Port Harcourt. We did it at about 8 in the night because the whole afternoon was spent in other projects, and because he was so busy, we had to finish it. That's the kind of person. But when he came to Abuja here, he came with a lot of controversy. You remember the people like Gumi who felt that Abuja, a certain person should not become a minister in Abuja, because almost in the last 4 decades, it's only people of northern extraction that have become minister here, and that Wike has no right to be a minister here. You recall that the controversy that followed that, a lot of insinuation that Wike would not work hard in Abuja because he's a Southerner, he doesn't want the interest of Abuja, etc., etc. But since he came in, he has shocked everybody. Abuja has been asleep in terms of infrastructure. It has been asleep in the last 8 years. But since Wike came to Abuja, everybody in Abuja is clapping hard to say, hey, President Tinubu, you did very well by bringing Wike in. What can we talk about? Is it roads? Is it school? Where he built over 24 new schools within that short time? Where he identified over 130 teachers, students in primary and secondary and awarded the scholarship, both EDG so that they can go to school? Is it arrears of salary? Is it monies that government have been owing some workers before? All this he has cleared. Roads, hospitals, water projects, name it. Anything lacking in Abuja, he's worked on it. When he came in, there was a lot of security challenge. People were being carried from their estate everywhere. And we also had issues of washers everywhere. He tackled it head on. Today, issue of washers and kidnapping in Abuja has been reduced to the barest minimum. And he's still on it. He's gone into all the 5 area councils and third, within a short time, opened 5-kilometer roads in all of them, including other things that I've been doing. To the extent that all the kings, all the local chieftains in the area council, they are all singing his praise. There have been no minister like Wike in Abuja. This is the first time you have seen a minister like Wike. When you talk about other things like roads, is it, what are we going to talk about that he has not done, in Abuja? As a former governor, all that he did previously, he's done all of them, more than them in Abuja. He's not here for up to 1 year yet. But when you enter Abuja roads, go to Maitama, go to Wuse, go to Asokoro, Izigusape, everywhere, you find his footprints here. Abuja is like one big construction area. Sometimes you see a road is closed, they are constructing. Before you know, a bridge that has been abandoned is completed. New bridges have been done. Old roads have been opened. In fact, everybody in Abuja is marveling about Wike. I personally did not believe he could do that here. Because the former minister.
Okay.
Yeah. The former minister. Go on.
Now, I was going to say, any way you look at it, look, there will always be some naysayers, but it's going to be well nigh impossible to say the man has not been performing way above and average. In fact, some will even say excellently, especially if they are on his side. But there are those, of course, that will have it that would like to see it a different. I was going to say that even very tough issues like all sorts of illegal structures that have been up for a while, the resolve that the man brought to the matter to free up those spaces for their, for the intended use and for the further beautification of the city, it was sort of seen as an untouchable project. Wike somehow.
Yes.
He's gone in there.
Let me tell you.
Sure.
Let me tell you, Folari, the man came in with a determination in Abuja. He took the project as his own. It's like your own baby. Who's small, you must take good care of it. Everywhere in Abuja, Wike has touched it. There's nobody in Abuja who will stand up to say they've seen this kind of work before. I have some friends who have been here for over 30 years. They say they've never seen this type of work in Abuja before. Wike has beaten everybody's imagination. We knew that he has done well in Rivers and that he would do well here, but nobody believed that he was going to do as much as this.
This well.
Abuja is like one one full construction site. Go into staff issues. Staffs are happy. Those who were not promoted, who have not been promoted for many years, he has promoted them. He has brought in 10 more permanent secretaries. People who have been directors before, a lot of people have been retired just as directors. They have been elevated to permanent secretaries. And I don't know what to say, but we can only pray to God that God continue to keep free for us.
Well, while we're at it,
to help us in Abuja for the next 4 years.
Yes.
Yes.
While we're at it, we'll open the phones early. We'll open the phones early so that people in Abuja who feel so disposed can actually call in that, look, okay, we are here and we are witnessing some of the things that you're saying. And then, of course, it doesn't mean that only people in Abuja, other people as well. So it's like, I guess we'll open the phones early, as you are saying. But so certainly that is one of the ministers that has been spoken very highly of by commentators up and down the land. There are others, and indeed we shall be coming to them. Maybe that's...
There are, for instance, the Minister for Works, is doing a fantastic work. I've praised him before for the coastal road that he's doing, and he's doing a host of other work. We have Bubi Ojo, a young man, minister, who is also doing very well. You know, so I can say that the president has picked a very good team to work. But Wike have beaten all expectations in Abuja. Even those who are saying, what is a certain man doing in Abuja? He will not work on the Abuja roads well, or he will not improve Abuja well because he might be jealous that Abuja is getting so beautiful. But Wike is even making it more beautiful. It's improving the standard of Abuja so much that if you've not been to Abuja in the last 1 year and you come, you'll be amazed. You ask. I thought they said there was no money to do project. Where is the money coming from? And he's planning to open up new areas, I understand, by Tama 2, areas that have not been opened up before, a host of other areas. We understand he's planning to open them up. Where people have been complaining, there's no money, you know. He's done very well. And we say if a man does something very well, it's good to praise him so that he can do more for us.
Okay, Honorable, we'll continue to talk about it, but I suppose Nyesom Wike is hardly a man that you can talk about, much as you're giving him in his kudos, without also coming to some controversial areas. Maybe we'll come to that. Those ones don't really affect his job as a person, but maybe the political aspect of him. But in the meantime, Mr. George in Lagos has called in. Good morning to you, Mr. George. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Theory, and good morning to the guests. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you very well, Mr. George.
Yes. Uncle Yori, there is no doubt whatsoever, even by those who hate Wike, that his scorecard is very, very encouraging. If you go to Rivers,
excellent,
you will see it. If those who don't even like him, they acknowledge the fact that he did very well. And he's repeating the same thing in Abuja. Look, a friend of mine told me yesterday when we were discussing these problems in Rivers that Wike does not have finance. I said, yes, he doesn't have finance. But those who have finance, what have they done better than him? Governance is about what you can deliver. It doesn't lack humaneness. It doesn't lack ability to think and know what is right and do it for the people, just because he doesn't have the finance. I do not agree with those who are saying some of those things we are hearing. We have done this and that. And the governor, if you permit me to go there, the current governor, what I heard him saying is not true. That Wike left many projects unpaid for. We were seeing him going with Wike to commission projects, and Wike told the public that all the projects, he paid 80% of the money to the contractors even before they started. And he never said it was a lie. And nobody said there was, no contractor has ever come out in River to say, I did a project, you did not pay me. So all those trumped-up allegations, I do not subscribe to them.
Okay.
The Ijaw elders of Yori, the Ijaw elders are to blame for what is going on in Rivers. Wike agreed with the governor before he was elected. As soon as he got elected, the Ijaw leaders came and said, "You are our son. You don't have to be listening to Godfather." Where were they when the man was taking him around and subtract other people and said, "This is the person that I want"? They did Edwin Clark, Baba Edwin Clark, never showed face during the elections. All of them are now, they are the ones misleading that governor. I don't see him as a bad person, per se.
Okay, Mr. George, thank you very much for calling in. I suppose that is the nature of the man. Nyesom Wike is a man of many parts. We are focusing on that aspect of him as the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, a minister in Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cabinet. But I had said that it's going to be impossible to keep it within that watertight compartment. Such is the nature of the man. But did you want to relate to that, Honorable Ego? Did you want to relate to George's comment?
Well, George has spoken very well. He's spoken my mind because I'm sure he has come to Abuja in recent times and he has seen the difference. There's nobody I say in Abuja, 99% of people in Abuja are all praising Wike. Even taxi drivers, market women. Oh, this road has been opened. This has been opened, you know, and it's making transportation easier in the town. If you go to Eagle Square, you will see hundreds of buses that he has put there. I'm sure maybe he's waiting for 29th of May before he puts them on the road. You know, Abuja generally, there's no room for buses. And it's very difficult for poor people, or rather, let me say, low-income earners to move in the town. You have to take taxi. But with those buses I've seen, by the time he unleashes them in Abuja, they say, oh, everybody will certainly clap for him. If we don't now, people are already clapping for him. Now, indeed, I don't want to bother about what his finis is. You know, what is those who hate him, those who don't hate him, those who like him, whatever character they believe that he has, they ascribe it to him. The important thing is that he's made a minister in Abuja to perform. And I'm sure that the president will be happy with his performance. In fact, both indigenes and non-indigenes of Abuja, you know, both those who hated him before, they cannot deny the fact that what the former vice president, you know, Professor Osiba just said about him, that is Mr. Project. They cannot deny that he's a Mr. Project. I was speaking to one of my colleagues from one of the northern states. He said, look, if they can borrow Wike to them, to their states, to just help his governor for just 6 months, he said they'll be very happy. He said they've not seen this kind of man. So Wike has done well. And
that is indeed high praise.
I only wish to tell him that let him not get into his head. Let him continue to do the work. Let him not say, oh, everywhere they are praising me, therefore I cannot do more. No. Abuja is big. He still have a lot of more things to be done. And we encourage him to continue the way he's working.
Okay. Well, Onyeka has called in from Abuja. Good morning, Onyeka.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Mr. Onyeka, thank you.
I live in Abuja here. I want to thank, to say that of the truth, Wike has really done very well. If you look at the area, even thank the guests for, he has touched so many areas. But even there are areas that Wike has also worked on, like Chai, Mabushin here. If you see the road construction there, it's massive. Places that were like desert, it just turned things around. I want to say Wike has really done well. The only aspect, I'm also happy the guest mentioned it in this area of the bus. If we can have the bus within Abuja landscape, I think that will go a long way. But in summary, he has done very well. But I also want to advise him, he is the minister of FCT. He should leave River State, let the Hubara govern that place. He should just concentrate on his work, you know. with enough attention in Abuja. He has a lot to do in Abuja. He should leave Rivers politics for now. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much for calling
Thank
in.
you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
What do you think, Honorable Ego, is the reason for the high praise that Nyesom Wike seems to be getting from most, if not all, in Abuja and perhaps by extension in Nigeria? Certainly, he has the support of the president. In fact, I don't know which minister won't have the support of the president. But is it the nature of the man? I have heard the commentary that apart from Nasir El-Rufai, his time as the FCT minister, that commentator was saying that it's Wike right after that comes to his mind as some of the heroes of the development of the
I
FCT.
agree with you that El-Rufai did quite a lot in Abuja. But what Wike is doing in Abuja, it will obliterate all the performance of El-Rufai very soon. The man is not up to 1 year yet. You know, you were saying, why do I think that everybody is praising him? You know, there's a South Africa proverb that says a sharp spear needs no polish. You know, once the spear is sharp, it needs no polish. It can enter into anything you use it to hit. So that's how Wike is. Everybody, whether you like him or not, whether you hate his attitude or not, you cannot but.
Okay, that's the finesse. That's the finesse that someone was talking about earlier. That he doesn't do things from their point of view with the finesse that it might require. And but then the person followed that up by saying that
I don't understand what they mean by finesse.
Finesse has done for them.
Yeah, they've done. Yeah, that's it. Issue of finesse doesn't come in because as far as Wike is concerned, everything is work. If you don't do the work the way he wants, you are in trouble with him. You know, he can talk to you anyhow because he knows that he has a mission in Abuja here. As he says always, Mr. President put him in Abuja here to achieve some things on his behalf. And I'm sure the president, wherever he is very proud. He will be very proud of what Wike has done. Look at bridges that have been abandoned for ages. Areas that are not linked together. Wike is completed a lot of them, and the work are ongoing, simultaneously, continuously. I can tell you for free that Wike is working in up to 30 different places in Abuja at the same time. And it's not just roads. Water is here, hospitals are there, schools are there, and then the human resources, employees of the FCT. Ask any teacher in the primary school or secondary school in FCT. And you'll be shocked the way they will praise Wike. Monies that are due to them, allowances they are supposed to be paid, that they were denied for many years. Wike has paid everything. You know, I'm not here to praise Wike here, but to say the truth. Because if I live here without saying the truth, if I say, Wike has not done well, he has just only done partially, by the time I leave this place, I'm sure that all my friends, people who know me in Abuja, they will call me to abuse me. They will say, what are you saying? With what Wike is doing, you are saying Wike has not done enough. So the man has exceeded all expectations.
Indeed, when he got the job, when he got the job, when he was appointed by President Tinubu, of course, you know, Tinubu's running on the theme of renewed hope, a mandate of renewed hope. He sort of studied that, it would seem, and decided to really run with it to the maximum. And this has led to what we're talking about. I have someone calling in from Port Harcourt, I believe. Kennedy in Port Harcourt. Good morning, Kennedy. Kennedy, can you hear us?
I can hear you clearly, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning to you, and good morning to my big brother, your guest.
Good morning, sir.
I'm going to say just about 2 3 things.
Morning, Mr. Kennedy, yeah. Okay.
Yes. Number one, I am going to say Wike, by every definition of the word, strikes me as who a leader should be. Who does not discriminate what party he belongs to or what party he does not belong to. So long as you have anything to contribute to the growth and development of the country, it doesn't matter what party you belong to. Put yourself forward and contribute whatever it is you feel you can contribute for the growth of that country that you so hold dear, that you so an oath to. That is why the likes of whatever they call themselves, masquerading themselves for whatever they are not, who are only good at criticizing, as far as I am concerned, they are not even qualified to be leaders in the first place. Otherwise, if you are a leader and you know you have solution to a problem bedeviling a country, it doesn't matter whether you lose an election or you don't lose an election. Put yourself forward. Contribute that thing which you know is a solution to ameliorating the problem the country is going through. If as a leader you cannot do that, by my definition, you don't qualify to be a leader. That's number one. Then number two, if Minister Wike comes 8 years from now, because I am sure President Tinubu is going to win a second term. If Wike puts himself forward, as at when President Tinubu leaves the office, if Wike puts himself forward as a president, my vote will be the very first vote he's going to get. Because as far as I am concerned, he is an epitome of who a leader should be. He doesn't discriminate. And when he's in office, he doesn't mind who you are. He steps on toes just to get the job done. That is who a leader should be. So Wike should be emulated and not knocked down by his critics and those who don't like him. And another beautiful thing about Wike, he doesn't care whether you like him or not. Whether you accept him or not, he doesn't care. All he's concerned about is doing the work that he's put in the office to do. Just like what he's doing in FCT Abuja today. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Kennedy, for calling in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those rare kind of situations where you couldn't even pay. You couldn't even pay to get the kind of accolades that Nyesom Wike is getting all around. It doesn't matter. It's not necessarily just on this program. Even online, you set up a poll. You begin to ask about what do you think about this person. You know, fire or fire. People are saying, "What are you?" Why are you
I can tell you for free.
Higher.
Yeah. I can tell you for free. If you enter Wuse Market or enter Garki Market and call for market women and say, what do they think about Wike? Their answer will shock you. Everybody is, because nobody has seen this level of work before. You know, the former minister, I was a member of House of Rep for 8 years, and the former minister will remember that he cannot even spend the money allocated for him in the budget, as if the money was too much, as if there is no extra work to be done in Abuja. Meanwhile, several bridges were completed, several roads are completed. You know, work everywhere was a standstill.
That's why
new districts were not being opened up. But Wike, no, it's a rare breed, I must say. I have not seen him since he became a minister, but I can tell you for free that Wike is doing so well. And it will be against my conscience to say, oh, Wike is not performing.
Okay. You know, that's why I asked earlier. I mean, it would seem to me that Wike has inherited whatever the assets were, and indeed a lot of the liabilities of, you know, the way things were in the Federal Capital Territory. But he has deployed, you know, all the resources available. Well, I suppose the big difference is that he is Wike, he's not anybody else. And people have done their own now, it's Wike's time. Because maybe it's just about understanding the job, looking at the roadmap of renewed hope, Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, understanding the brief, as they say, in marketing, and setting our head, you know, settling down to assiduously take it on one by one. And as you're saying, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you are the lowly, ordinary person, not necessarily lettered, everybody would seem to have felt the impact of the man called Nyesom Wike, the man who was the two-time governor of his native River State. And people have spoken about that, but as I said, I didn't want us to go in there. Let's just stay on looking at people within the cabinet of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Wike has to be a shining light, one of the shining lights in there. Quite a handful of them, going by all the polls. Welcome back. Our guest is Honorable Ogene Emma Ego, member of the House of Representatives in the 8th and 9th Assemblies, and also is a former member of the ECOWAS Parliament. We're looking at the scorecard, performance scorecard of, in this instance, I dare say that we'll be including other people, their scorecard in the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president who appointed him and appointed all the others. They're all working to the agenda of renewed hope. It would appear that Wike, among those other ministers that we've also sort of talked about without zeroing in on, seem to have got the idea, seem to have gotten the brief of what a renewed hope is. Because it's very possible that the president could use from the numbers that he has to select from, he could use, for instance, this particular assignment, this minister and the way he's going about his assignment, as what he means by a renewed hope. He certainly, everybody is saying that we've not seen this kind of a thing before. We've not seen this kind of performance. But nobody exists that will not also have some other aspect to it. But in spite of what people think might be a distraction to him because of his political, what shall we say, political preferences in his former station of call, where in his former state, people thought that might be distracting. But it would appear that, I don't know how he's doing it, it doesn't seem to impinge on his ability to perform in the center, but there are those, it was one of, I think it might be Kennedy, if I'm not mistaken, who had said, maybe it wasn't Kennedy, I'm not too sure, who had said that, look, maybe could he just sort of look away from River State and just focus his whole attention on, the Federal Capital Territory where his current assignment lies, and maybe people will even get much more than we are presently commending. Do you think that's doable? Could he look away from Rivers?
Thank you, Fulari. Now, we in Abuja, who live in Abuja, are very impressed with what he is doing for us. Look at the railway, for instance. The railway project was abandoned for several years. I understand in a matter of 2 weeks' time, the railway line will commence operation. That is the extent of which Wike is working. Nobody believes that we will see a metro line working in Abuja within the life of this administration, but that is already working. Now, Wike is a passionate person. Because of his passion for whatever job is given, it's difficult. He was the governor of Rivers State.
Okay.
And, hello?
Sorry, we seem to have lost the sound momentarily there, but it did come back. And let me use this opportunity to bring in Isuagbe, who has called in. Good morning to you, Isuagbe.
Okay.
Did I get that right?
Yeah. Hello? Can he turn his radio down, his television down, so we can hear him well?
Isuagbe, can you hear us?
Clear.
Yeah, let it turn down his television.
Excellent. Could you just
mute down your television?
The volume of Mr. Ego, we got it. We got that, Mr. Ego.
I can hear you.
But as he's helping us to say, please mute the volume of your TV set. Go ahead now, Mr. Isuagbe.
I've done that.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Isuagbe, calling from Abuja.
Okay.
Honestly, I think Nathan Wike is doing quite well. A lot of projects are going on. And of course, this is what we need in federal capital. Wike spot on from the time he was Minister of State for Education. That is when we actually spotted him as a man who will always do well
in any position. But the greatest problem I think we are having now is there's so much distraction that is taking place. It is affecting not just Rivers State, the entire nation. We all remember what happened in the First Republic, the Western region, how the crisis that started there snowballed into a national crisis, and at the end of the day, the military coup that took place and so on and so forth. I think the political class should not see this problem as a problem of Rivers State. They should come together and find a lasting solution to it. It is not everything that goes on that will be seen as just mere politics. It is affecting the nation. The economy is not doing too well. And to bring about a crisis that can grind the entire nation, I don't think it will give us any good. So, Minister Wike, we know you to be a man that is hardworking, but please try as much as possible to bring down the tension that is growing in the nation. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. Okay, please continue.
My take on that, is the last speaker is not far from the truth. Like they say, if you have a small injury in a finger, it can affect the entire body, even though it is just on one small finger. So the issues in Rivers must be handled well. And I want to commend Mr. President on this, because when this issue happened, Mr. President called the actors, which is Wike, Fabura, and other leaders in Rivers State together. And they came to Abuja, and they brought up a program how to achieve peace. All of them agreed to it, and they went back. Now, having gone back, if some people were not showing good faith in the implementation, what I think they needed to do is to report back to Mr. President, instead of engaging in fiscal and creative problem in the whole place. The governor of Rivers State, he has an interest to ensure that he governs well and the place approves smoothly. Of course, I'm sure that Wike, who is from Rivers State, would not be happy if Rivers State is on fire. What my advice is that the governor can reach the president easily, and there are leaders in Rivers who can also reach the president. My advice is let the governor call the president, report back to the president, and say, look, Mr. President, the peace program you gave to us, I have done my part. I have tried to do my part. But the other people are creating problems that made it impossible for me to perform or to do my part. Then the president will call them back and look at areas of friction so that the issue can be amicably settled. Let me tell you, I've been in politics for a long time, having been elected councillor twice in Lagos State and being the public secretary of a party in Lagos State, went to House of Rep twice in Lagos State. I know that a major political issue cannot be settled with just one discussion. That discussion that was held the first time in major issues will not satisfy some parties. But what you need to do is continuous continuous discussion, not to take up arms and say, oh, we fight. Because when you go into a fight, at the end of the day, the state will suffer it. So my advice to Fabura is that he is the governor of Rivers State. Let it go back to Mr. President. It's not weakness. Go back to Mr. President. Look, I'm the governor of this state. So things are happening that is preventing me from ruling this place well. Mr. President,
all right.
Let's look at the agreement again. Also, people are the people who are making it impossible for us to reach agreement. Call them. And by the time they call them, everybody will bring his grievances. And the issue can be settled amicably.
Mr. Governor Fubura would make that kind of a call if indeed that is the way he feels about the situation. But Funsho has called in from Minna in Niger State. Good morning, Mr. Funsho.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Go ahead.
Your guest. I really enjoy your guest. Your guest has set my mind. You see, Wike is a man I loved. Honestly, I've not met him before, but I loved him. I wish I could meet him because of what he has been doing right from Port Harcourt when he was the governor of the Rivers State. and he brought it back down to Abuja, which is very, very, very okay. Because, like you rightly said, before you can surpass Nasru El-Rufai, you have to do a lot of jobs to surpass El-Rufai's effort. And that is what Wike is doing now. Because when he assumed office, they were saying Wike must go. But now Wike must stay. Because I have friends that work with the FCT. In fact, they are really in love with Minister Wike now. Because he is doing what is expected of him. And he is doing what the previous minister has not done. Like your guest rightly said. Promotion of people from director to secretary, to parent secretary, paying their arrears, doing what you are supposed to do. So, and the issue of River State, from my own little experience, at least Wike is not from FCT. You should train E2 with Rivers because you will still go back home for politics. So, but it should be like 20% in the Rivers and then 80% in the FCT, so that if you get so, you can make something at home. So that's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Afonso. Interesting.
Thank you. I think I agree with you. You know, I'm sure that I've never spoken. I'm not from Rivers, so I don't have strong position. But I'm sure that His Excellency Wike will be happy also if issues in Rivers are settled. It takes two to make a pair. What advice is that all the actors should reach to Mr. President. Let's respect the president. If the president, in his wisdom, can call them to say, hey, let us settle this issue. It shows the president understands that fire should not be in any part of the state is governing. And he has a good intention of ensuring that everything is settled. But like I said, if the governor, who is the one on seat, believes that there are activities or actions that is making it impossible for him to rule the place, let him report to Mr. President. And Mr. President can call the actors, let everybody state his part, maybe have an arbitration on it, and then come out with a blueprint that will be a win-win for each side. If each side is not satisfied, okay, retreat this, and then let Rivers work. Personally, I want to see Rivers working. It is in the interest of Wike, who have done so much in Rivers, for the governor of Rivers to operate smoothly. It's also in the interest of leaders in Rivers State that the governor should work well. Don't forget, two of them are two sons of Rivers State, and Wike was the one who put Fubura there. And Wike will be happy if Fubura works hard, like he did, emulates him. That will show that Wike did not make a mistake by putting Fubura there.
Okay, then.
Quarreling and abusing.
Sorry, sir.
I think they need to work together as a team.
On the, affairs of River State, because I'm sure Mr. Fubura will be, quick to say that the electorate put him there, but I understand the meaning you might have. There have been so much that has been said. Benga has called in from Abuja. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Mr. Yori, good morning to your guests.
Thank you.
I live in Abuja.
Thank you.
And I've been in Abuja since 1997. So I can, even before democracy came, I saw what the military did, and I saw what the democracy time. Wike has shown that it's not just all that he did in River State was not a fluke. They has come as that Mr. Project in Abuja. The first thing he did, unlike before, you can have anybody in Abuja budget for a year will be signed by September, October. How can you implement such a project? The Wike make sure that Abuja budget for this year was signed around February, March. That showed that he had a clear vision. Now, Abuja has its own civil service commission. Abuja has its own head of service. It's not there before. Abuja has some farm sec in different departments. Before, that was not there. So you can see administratively, it has really transformed Abuja.
Now, in the area of infrastructure, many roads have been restructured, so those who are damaged have been relayed. And now we can see ongoing projects that will make that will connect Abuja, make it easy for you to drive from where you are living to connect Abuja to the airport and many other places. That's just because some months he has spent. So now rating him by this is just something. We are looking for bigger picture, because by the time you implement this year budget, you will see a new Abuja. The project has been abandoned for many years. They call it a Millennium Park something. Abandoned for many years. He successes now. That place should have been a place to attract the visitors and people to Abuja. But it was abandoned. But now we can say no. This will be a legacy project for him and the president. And they're working on it. So I'm saying that we have not seen anything. He has told us that they want to have that with rain. We are waiting for that. So I'm saying that we believe that he will perform. And he has to perform because he wants to show those Babele in River State that he's not a local champion. That he will go to the federal, that is what a national champion. He wants to prove that, and he will prove it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gwenga, for calling in.
Thank you.
So,
thank
Honorable
you.
Ego, I guess it bears saying again, Wike seems to be a walking advert for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. I imagine this is what Mr. President thinks and wants the renewed hope agenda to bring to mind when he says that I have agents of this and go and serve in that capacity in this particular area. You mentioned some other people.
Let me say, for Larry, let me say, it looks like the president picked square pegs in square holes. Look at the Minister for Works. We've never had a Minister for Works like him, in many years in Nigeria. He's all over the country. It looks like the president...
You're talking about another former governor there, right?
Minister for Works, you must do this. Yes, the former governor. He's doing so well. Look at this young man, Bumi Ojo, Minister for Internal Affairs. Just go and try to get a passport. Even some of my boys who are abroad, who wants to get a passport, they have to fly to Nigeria, you can get it abroad. So I agree with you that the president, picked his team very carefully. But Wike is a special breed.
Wike is a walking advert for the renewed hope agenda.
That is it. Yeah.
The kind of thing.
That is it. I agree with you. We in PDP, we are jealous. We are jealous.
But then again, I suppose it's commendable of the man because he's walking an interesting kind of tightrope. He's not in the ruling party. He's not a member of the ruling party. He says he has no intention, as a matter of fact, of joining the ruling party. But he does understand the assignment, and he does know, he has said, he does understand issues of trust and loyalty, and that if he was trusted with this assignment, he seemed to be very grateful for the opportunity and was going to do his best to show that Mr. President had chosen well and would not regret putting him in charge of this particular aspect of the Tinubu agenda, because the renewed hope agenda, it's across the board. I think you could see the renewed hope in, you look at the area of solid minerals, you look at the area of internal affairs, you've spoken about that. There's so
solid mineral, yes. They are doing very well here too.
Yes. Yeah. There are so many people that
solid mineral. They are like doing very well in the solid mineral area also. Yes.
So it's like this, and if we're just about to step into the first year of service of all these people, touch wood, it looks like there's a heck of a lot in the future, in the immediate future, that is going to happen. After all said and done, Wike took over the reins of governance in the Federal Capital Territory when hardly anything was working anymore. The place had almost gone to seed. Right. People were doing what they wanted, all sorts of illegal structures all over the place. People felt that you couldn't do anything about this. But the man comes along and he says, there is a plan. That's another thing that El Rufai was very important, very adamant on, there being a master plan. Well, to the extent that it
in
is
fact,
possible.
Wike just had a meeting with the Japanese, to look at the master plan of Abuja to make sure that it's not distorted. To relook at it to ensure that the right thing is done. In fact, the man loves Abuja, and,
so that's
I'm sure that those who were accusing him that why is a certain being made the minister in Abuja, I'm sure they will be regretting it now, and they will be saying, "Oh, Mr. President made the right choice."
That fearlessness to do that which ought to be done, that which is right, that which was earlier agreed. Because, people just test the limits, and you contravene in this way, it benefits you, you get away with it, others are emboldened. And so we got to a stage where as a lot of governors are also finding out, well, some governors are finding out up and down the land, those minute encroachments have now constituted themselves into a heck of a nuisance, and now they have to deal with it decisively. That kind of fearlessness is what I think Wike is applying over in Abuja. Gwenga called in and was speaking about a certain metropolitan project that he says was virtually abandoned. Wike comes along.
The Millennium Park, yes.
Yeah. There are good things here that have been abandoned. We're going to resuscitate them. I think I'm being told that there's someone else on the line. Who's on the line? Okay. Can you still hear us?
Very well.
Okay. So if you can, so really, we don't want to be repeating ourselves without having dug into it forensically. We can say that most people, all sorts of polls, are very happy with Minister Wike, and it's like kudos to the president for appointing him, putting a round peg in a round hole, or if you want the other one, a square peg in a square hole. Yeah. That's the one thing that people seem to think. So I want to thank you very much for coming along and talking about this. I'm sure there will be others that we'll also be looking at in terms of, especially as we come to the anniversary of the first year of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in office. Thank you very much, Honorable Ogene Emma Ego, two-time member of the House of Representatives and former member of the ECOWAS Parliament. Thank you very much for coming on our program this morning.
Thank you. I'm honored to be around once more. Thank you, Yori Ferrari. Thank you.
All right, then.
A pleasure.
Yes. Okay, so that's our program today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Ferrari. Bye-bye.
Following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Tired of pants that scratch